Welcome, dear wanderers of consciousness, to Conscious Frequency. It is a joy to share this space with you, where we explore the universe, both within and without, with gentle curiosity and a touch of wonder. Tonight, we embark on a journey through the very origins of existence, tracing the invisible threads of ancient chemistry that weave the tapestry of our reality. We'll explore how the fundamental building blocks of the cosmos, forged in stellar furnaces and scattered across the void, eventually found their way to us, becoming the very essence of life, consciousness, and the subtle energies that resonate through all things. Prepare to be lulled by the profound, the elegant, the ancient. As we begin, I invite you to find a comfortable position, perhaps lying down, or nestled in a cozy chair. Close your eyes if it feels right, and if you're so inclined, share in the comments below where you're joining us from tonight. Let's feel the vastness of our shared human experience, connected by these cosmic whispers. If the gentle hum of cosmic discovery resonates with your soul, consider becoming a part of our growing constellation by subscribing to Conscious Frequency. Click that little bell to be notified when new journeys unfold, and help us spread these vibrations of wonder to even more seekers. Over the next 2.5 hours, we will delve into 25 chapters, each a step deeper into the primordial soup of creation. We'll touch upon Stardust, elemental alchemy, the molecular dance of life, and the philosophical implications of our chemical heritage. Let the sounds wash over you, let your mind drift, and allow the ancient chemistry of the universe to cradle you into a state of deep peace and awareness. Chapter 1. The first spark. Imagine, if you will, a vast silent darkness. Not an empty darkness, but a pregnant void humming with unseen potential. And then, a flicker. A single incandescent breath that expanded not just outward, but inward, birthing space and time from its own luminous core. This is the echo of the Big Bang, the universe's first, breathtaking sigh. It wasn't a violent explosion in the way we might picture a firework, but rather an unfurling, a stretching of everything from a point of immeasurable density. And in that initial, searing moment, the fundamental ingredients of our reality were born. Think of it as the cosmic kitchen, where the very first, simplest elements were stirred into existence. Hydrogen, the lightest and most abundant, like the pure, clear water of creation, and helium, its noble companion, floating serenely in the nascent expanse. These were the primal building blocks, the uncarved stones from which all else would eventually be shaped. It's a thought that can make your breath catch, can't it? That everything you see, everything you feel, every thought that flits through your mind, has its roots in that singular, radiant beginning. We are, quite literally, children of that first, magnificent spark. Before the first star ignited, before the first atom danced, there was a whisper of potential, a fundamental energetic hum. Let us begin here, in the silent, boundless cradle of the universe. It's a thought that can feel almost impossibly vast, can't it? To imagine a time before anything as we understand it. But that's precisely where our story, the story of us, truly begins. Picture it not darkness, but a point of infinite density, a singularity holding within it the blueprint for everything that would ever be. And then, a moment of unimaginable release, an expansion so swift, so fundamental, it's often called the Big Bang. But perhaps, Big Bang feels a little too violent, doesn't it? Imagine instead of gentle unfurling, a breath taken by the cosmos itself. In those first fleeting fractions of a second, the very fabric of reality was being woven. The fundamental forces like gravity and electromagnetism began to separate like threads pulling apart from a single, luminous cord. And within this incandescent, rapidly expanding soup, the very first building blocks of existence began to flicker into being. We're talking about the truly primal ingredients, quarks, those tiny fundamental particles, zipping and buzzing with an almost frantic energy, and leptons like the electron, the harbinger of electricity, already starting their dance. It was a realm of pure, unadulterated energy, a dazzling, blinding light that held the promise of all matter. As this nascent universe continued its breathtaking expansion, it also began to cool, ever so slightly. This cooling allowed for a profound transformation. Those energetic quarks, once free to roam, began to bind together, like tiny magnets finding their perfect partners. They formed protons and neutrons, the sturdy foundational pillars of atomic nuclei. Think of them as the very first building blocks, like Lego bricks being snapped together in a cosmic nursery. And as the universe continued its journey, cooling further still, these protons and neutrons found their companions electrons. This was the moment of genesis for atoms, the first true atoms to grace existence. And what were these primordial atoms? Overwhelmingly, they were hydrogen, the simplest element, and helium, its slightly more complex cousin. Imagine a vast, ethereal mist, a cosmic fog composed almost entirely of these two fundamental gases, swirling and drifting in the boundless expanse. It was a universe of pure potential, a canvas waiting for the first brushstrokes of complexity. And even now, after billions of years, we can still feel the echoes of that initial, explosive moment. It's called the cosmic microwave background radiation. Think of it as the lingering warmth of that first cosmic dawn, a faint, pervasive glow that bathes the entire universe. It's like finding an ancient, faded photograph of your great-great-great-grandparents, a tangible remnant of their presence, a universal fingerprint of creation. This radiation is a whisper from the past, a constant reminder of the energetic outpouring that birthed everything. It's a testament to the fact that the universe wasn't born silent, it was born with a radiant hum, a fundamental energetic signature that we can still detect today. It's a subtle yet profound connection to our deepest origins, a cosmic lullaby sung at the very beginning of time. But here's where things get truly fascinating, where the universe starts to feel less like a solid object and more like a shimmering possibility. In those earliest moments, and even now at the smallest scales, reality is governed by the strange and beautiful rules of quantum mechanics. Imagine the universe not as a smooth, continuous flow, but as a frothing, bubbling sea of potential. This is the realm of quantum fluctuations. Even in the vacuum of space, tiny particles blink in and out of existence like fleeting sparks in the darkness. In the early universe, this inherent uncertainty was amplified. It suggests that reality wasn't simply there, fully formed, but rather emerged from a vast, interconnected field of potentiality. It was a universe where possibilities were not just abstract ideas, but the very substance of existence, a cosmic lottery where the dice were constantly being rolled, shaping the future with every infinitesimal fluctuation. Imagine the universe as a vast, silent ocean before the first ripple. The Big Bang was the gentle, yet profound, disturbance that set everything into motion, like a single, perfect note sung into the stillness, creating waves of existence. But this nascent universe, composed of the simplest elements, was a far cry from the complexity we see today. How did these fundamental building blocks begin to organize themselves, to form the very first structures? From the serene uniformity of the early cosmos, gravity began its slow, patient work, gathering the dispersed wisps of hydrogen and helium into the first celestial cradles. Imagine it, if you will, like the gentlest of breezes coaxing scattered dandelion seeds into a single, soft drift. These cosmic clouds, vast and ethereal, began to contract, their own immense weight pulling them ever inward. As the gas and dust swirled closer, spinning faster and faster, the pressure at their core intensified, a silent, inexorable squeeze. And then, in a moment that would echo through all of time, a spark. Not a spark of fire as we know it, but the ignition of nuclear fusion. The very atoms of hydrogen, the universe's most abundant building block, were forced together with such violence, such immense heat and pressure, that they fused, transforming into something new. This was the birth of the first stars, the universe's alchemical furnaces, blazing into existence, releasing an unimaginable torrent of light and heat. The primary dance within these nascent stellar hearts was the conversion of hydrogen into helium. Think of it as the universe's first simple recipe, a fundamental transformation. Billions upon billions of hydrogen nuclei, protons really were slammed together, overcoming their natural repulsion to form helium nuclei. This process, this fusion, didn't just create helium. It released an astonishing amount of energy, the very energy that would begin to illuminate the darkness. It was a steady, radiant glow, a gentle warming of the cosmic void, the first true light show in the grand theater of existence. This wasn't a fleeting flicker, this was a sustained outpouring, a constant hum of creation that would power the universe for eons. But stars, those patient artisans, are not content with just one trick. As the hydrogen fuel in their cores dwindled, the immense pressure and temperature continued. The helium, Now the most abundant element in the core began to be squeezed together, and in a further act of cosmic alchemy, helium atoms fused to form a carbon. And then, the carbon could fuse with more helium to create oxygen. These were the first steps in building a more complex elemental palette. Over millions, even billions of years, stars became stellar forges, slowly, meticulously, crafting heavier elements in their fiery interiors. They were the universe's first chemists, layering complexity, atom by atom, in a slow, deliberate process. And this is where the profound beauty of the cosmic cycle truly begins to reveal itself. The elements we know, the very building blocks of planets, of stars, and yes, of us, weren't always here. They were born in the hearts of these ancient stars. Hydrogen and helium were the primordial ingredients, but it was stellar fusion that forged the carbon, the oxygen, the nitrogen, and eventually, in the more massive stars, even the iron. These elements were then locked away within the stars, a precious treasure forged in the intense heat and pressure. It's a continuous process, a grand circulation of matter, where the universe takes its simplest components, and, through the power of stars, transforms them into the rich tapestry of elements that make up everything we can see and everything we are. Feel the warmth of starlight, even in your imagination. It's the echo of these ancient fusion processes. Think of these early stars as cosmic alchemists, meticulously transmuting the simplest elements in their fiery crucibles. They are the universe's first artisans, crafting the raw materials for everything that is to come, from nebulae to life itself. These elemental creations, however, remained locked within the hearts of stars until a more dramatic event. What cataclysmic forces were needed to release these newly forged elements into the vastness of space? When the stellar furnaces could no longer sustain their fiery hearts, they met their end not in silence, but in a spectacular universe-reshaping explosion. Imagine, if you will, a star far more massive than our own sun, a true giant that has lived a life of prodigious burning. For eons it's been a cosmic powerhouse, fusing lighter elements into heavier ones in its incredibly dense core. But even the most magnificent fires eventually consume their fuel. As this behemoth exhausts its hydrogen, then its helium, and so on, it starts to build up heavier and heavier elements. The process continues layer by layer, like an onion of cosmic creation, until it reaches iron. Now, iron is a peculiar element. Unlike the elements before it, fusing iron doesn't release energy, it consumes it. This is a critical turning point. The outward pressure from fusion, the very force that held the star aloft against the crushing pull of its own gravity, falters. Suddenly, there's nothing to stop the inevitable. The star's core collapses in on itself with unimaginable speed, a catastrophic implosion that lasts mere milliseconds. It's a descent into density so extreme that protons and electrons are forced together, creating neutrons, and the core becomes a rigid ball of neutron matter. But this collapse doesn't just stop. The infalling outer layers crash into this newly formed, incredibly dense neutron core, and they have rebound. It's like dropping a heavy ball onto a perfectly unyielding surface, but on a scale that dwarfs anything we can truly comprehend. This rebound, coupled with a tremendous outpouring of neutrinos, triggers an explosion of such colossal proportions that it momentarily outshines entire galaxies. This is a supernova, a cosmic detonation that releases more energy in a few seconds than our sun will in its entire 10 billion year lifespan. And crucially, this violent outburst provides the extreme conditions, the intense neutron flux, necessary for a process called the R process, or rapid neutron capture. Here, atomic nuclei are bombarded with neutrons at an astonishing rate, allowing them to build up elements heavier than iron, like gold, silver, platinum, and uranium. It's in these fleeting, fiery moments that the very fabric of matter is woven into new, heavier forms. And then the dispersal. This blinding flash, this cosmic scream, doesn't just dissipate into nothingness. Instead, it blasts the newly forged elements outwards, scattering them like celestial shrapnel across vast interstellar distances. Think of it as a cosmic paint can, exploding and splattering its vibrant contents. All those elements from carbon and oxygen that form our very bodies, to the silicon in our rocks, to the iron in our blood, across the dark canvas of space. This isn't just random debris, it's the vast-enriched dust of a once mighty star, now carrying the seeds of future creation. This material, once confined within a single stellar heart, is now free to mingle, to drift, and to eventually find new purpose. A supernova is like a cosmic seed bomb, exploding outwards and scattering the precious ingredients for future worlds across the universe. It's a violent act of generosity, a necessary sacrifice that fuels new beginnings. These dispersed elements, this stardust, are the fundamental building blocks. They are the raw materials waiting for the next act in the cosmic drama. They will drift through nebulae, gather in vast clouds, and eventually, under the gentle tug of gravity, begin to coalesce once more, forming new stars, new planetary systems, and perhaps, if the conditions are just right, new life. This stardust, now enriched with a diverse palette of elements, began to coalesce once more. What patterns and structures emerged from this celestial scattering? And how did these elements find their way into the formation of our own solar system? Take a deep breath and imagine the atoms of your body were once forged in the heart of a dying star. Feel that connection. It's a profound reminder that we are, quite literally, made of stardust, participants in an ancient cosmic dance of creation and renewal. From the remnants of ancient stellar explosions, a vast, swirling disk of gas and dust began to spin, the embryonic foundation of our own cosmic home. It's a story whispered across billions of years, a symphony of gravity and chemistry playing out in the silent dark. Think of it, if you will, as a cosmic nursery, a vast, ethereal cloud, the solar nebula. This wasn't just any dust. It was the recycled stardust of generations of stars that had lived, bloomed, and then, in spectacular bursts, returned their essence to the void. Within this immense cloud, a rich tapestry of elements was woven: hydrogen and helium, yes, the universe's most abundant ingredients, but also the heavier, more complex atoms forged in stellar furnaces: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, iron, silicon. Imagine it as a cosmic pantry, stocked with the very building blocks that would eventually coalesce into planets, moons, and perhaps even ourselves. It was a cloud so vast, so diffuse, yet holding within it the potential for entire worlds. And then, something shifted. Perhaps a nearby supernova's shockwave, a gentle nudge from the cosmos, initiated a slow, inexorable dance. Gravity, that invisible sculptor, began to pull this diffuse cloud inward. As it contracted, it began to spin faster, much like an ice skater pulling their arms in. Most of the material, drawn by an irresistible force, spiraled towards the center, gathering and compressing, growing hotter and denser. This dense, fiery heart became our protostar, the infant sun, a beacon of nascent energy. But not all the material succumbed to this central pull. A significant portion flattened into a vast, spinning disk around the protostar, a swirling, cosmic frisbee of gas and dust, the protoplanetary disk. It was within this dynamic, ever-churning disk that the seeds of our solar system were sown. Now, within this spinning disk, the tiny dust grains, like microscopic snowflakes, began their gentle ballet. Driven by subtle electrostatic forces, they started to cling to one another. Imagine microscopic specks of cosmic grit, bumping and sticking, growing ever so slightly with each encounter. This process, known as accretion, was a slow, patient accumulation. These clumps grew larger, from pebbles to boulders, then to rocks, and eventually to the first planetesimals. These were the embryonic planets, the building blocks of what would become our familiar celestial bodies. It was a process of gentle collisions and persistent attraction, a cosmic game of cosmic Jenga, where each successful adherence brought the next larger structure closer to realization. But this disk wasn't a uniform soup. The nascent sun, even in its early stages, radiated heat, creating a distinct temperature gradient. Closer to the sun, it was scorching hot. Here, only materials with high melting points could survive in solid form: the rocky elements, the metals like iron and silicon. These became the inner terrestrial planets. Further out, in the cooler reaches of the disk, it was a different story. Here, the more volatile elements, the gases and ices, water, methane, ammonia, could condense and freeze. These materials, abundant in the outer solar system, accreted onto larger cores, forming the gas giants with their immense atmospheres and icy moons. This chemical gradient was the cosmic architect, dictating the fundamental nature of each nascent world. Imagine the solar nebula as a vast cosmic potter's wheel, with the sun at its center. The dust and gas were the clay, slowly being shaped and differentiated by gravity and heat into the diverse planets we know today. Within this dynamic disk, specific chemical compositions began to define the nascent worlds. But how did the chemistry on our own planet Earth become uniquely suited to foster the emergence of life? As we explore the formation of planets, feel the subtle forces of attraction and cohesion at play, mirroring the forces that bring us together. It's a reminder that even in the grandest cosmic ballad, the smallest interactions matter. Our nascent Earth, a fiery ball of molten rock and swirling gases, was a crucible of chemical reactions, a dynamic planet still finding its form. It's a thought that humbles us, isn't it? To picture our home not as the verdant, breathing sphere we know, but as a raw, untamed inferno. This initial molten state, a vast, churning sea of liquid rock, was the very foundation upon which everything else would be built. Imagine the immense heat, the sheer, unadulterated energy radiating outwards. As this primordial soup began its slow, inexorable cooling, a remarkable process of differentiation started to unfold. Think of it like letting a thick batter settle. The heavier bits naturally sink to the bottom. Gravity, that silent, constant sculptor, began to pull the densest materials towards the center, forming our planet's nascent core, a blazing heart of iron and nickel. Above this, slightly less dense materials coalesced into the mantle, a thick, viscous layer that still pulses with heat today. And finally, as the surface cooled just enough, a thin, brittle skin began to solidify, the very beginnings of our crust. It was a slow, majestic dance of density, a fundamental sorting of elements that set the stage for all that was to come. But the story of our early atmosphere is one of exhalation, a deep planetary breath drawn from within. The young Earth wasn't just cooling, it was outgassing. Imagine countless volcanoes, like fiery pores on a colossal skin, releasing torrents of gas from the planet's interior. This wasn't the air we breathe today, filled with life-giving oxygen. No, this was a thick, steamy blanket. A water vapor was a major component, a shimmering mist that would play such a crucial role. Alongside it came vast quantities of carbon dioxide, a potent greenhouse gas that kept the young planet warm. And then there was nitrogen, a stable, inert gas that would become the silent majority of our atmosphere. These volcanic vents, spewing their gaseous breath into the void, were the architects of our first atmospheric envelope, a protective, albeit alien, shroud. And then, the magic truly began to unfold with the arrival of our oceans. As the Earth continued its slow, steady cooling, that abundant water vapor from the volcanic outgassing began to change its state. Imagine the sky darkening, not with clouds as we know them, but with a thick, pervasive mist. As the temperature dropped just a little further, this vapor started to condense, to gather itself, like shy droplets coalescing on a cool window pane. This wasn't a gentle shower, it was a deluge, a planetary baptism that lasted for millennia. Rivers of water, born from the sky, cascaded down, carving channels into the nascent crust, filling in the low-lying basins. These were our primordial oceans, vast, dark, and teeming with dissolved minerals and gases, a liquid canvas waiting for the brushstrokes of chemistry. They were the planet's first great solvent, a medium where the building blocks of life could finally meet and mingle. Now, what were these building blocks? What were the essential ingredients that this colossal cosmic stew was made of? On early Earth there was a remarkable abundance of a select group of elements, often referred to by the acronym H. That's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. These aren't just random elements, they are the very backbone of life as we understand it. Carbon, with its incredible ability to form complex chains and rings, is the master architect of organic molecules. Hydrogen and oxygen, of course, form water, the universal solvent. Nitrogen is crucial for amino acids and nucleic acids, the very essence of proteins and DNA. Phosphorus is vital for energy transfer and the structure of genetic material, and sulfur is a key component of many proteins. These 6 elements, present in abundance on our young Earth, were the fundamental ingredients, the essential toolkit, ready to be assembled into something far more intricate. Earth's early formation was like a complex chemical experiment, with volcanic outgassing releasing the reactants, cooling temperatures providing the conditions, and the formation of oceans creating the vital medium for intricate molecular interactions to begin. It's a beautiful, almost poetic image, isn't it? This grand, planet-sized laboratory, where the very elements that make up our bodies were being prepared, stirred, and mixed. These oceans, filled with dissolved minerals and gases, became the stage for an extraordinary chemical evolution. What were the specific molecular precursors that began to assemble, hinting at the dawn of life? Imagine the gentle rain of those first oceans, each drop carrying the potential for profound chemical change. Within the primordial oceans, under conditions we can only imagine, the very molecules that underpin all living things began to self-organize. It's a thought that humbles, isn't it? That something as intricate as life could blossom from the seemingly mundane. Scientists, with their keen eyes and persistent curiosity, have tried to recreate these ancient moments, offering glimpses into this profound genesis. Imagine, if you will, a young Earth, a volatile place, its atmosphere a swirling soup of gases like methane, ammonia, and water vapor, then a spark. Perhaps a lightning strike, a sudden jolt of pure energy, or maybe the relentless kiss of ultraviolet radiation from a sun not yet shielded by a protective ozone layer. These energetic nudges were the cosmic catalysts, the unseen hands that coaxed inorganic matter into the first whispers of organic chemistry. Experiments like the famous Miller-Urey experiment, in their own way, mimicked these conditions, and astonishingly, they yielded as amino acids, the very building blocks of proteins, and even as nucleotides, the components of DNA and RNA. It's as if the universe itself was whispering secrets, showing us how to assemble the alphabet of life. And at the heart of this nascent chemistry lies a truly remarkable element: carbon. Think of carbon as the universe's master architect. It's a small, unassuming atom, yet its genius lies in its ability to form 4 stable bonds with other atoms. This tetravalent nature, this capacity for connection, is what makes it the unparalleled backbone of all organic molecules. Carbon atoms can link together in long, elegant chains, or form intricate rings, creating an almost infinite variety of structures. It's this versatility, this inherent knack for building complexity, that carbon possesses, allowing it to be the fundamental scaffolding upon which life is constructed. Without carbon's unique bonding properties, the vast and diverse tapestry of organic molecules, from the simplest sugars to the most complex enzymes, simply wouldn't be possible. It's the silent, strong foundation, the quiet hum of possibility that underpins everything we recognize as alive. These simple organic molecules, born from inorganic precursors, didn't remain isolated for long. They began to link together, to polymerize, like beads on a string, forming longer, more complex chains. Imagine amino acids, those fundamental protein units, joining hands, one after another, creating the elegant, folded structures of proteins. These proteins are the workhorses of life, carrying out countless tasks, from building cellular structures to catalyzing chemical reactions. Simultaneously, nucleotides, the building blocks of our genetic code, began to link up, forming the double helix of DNA and the single strands of RNA. These nucleic acids are the very blueprints, the instruction manuals, that carry the information for life's perpetuation and diversity. It was a slow, patient assembly, a gradual weaving of complexity from simplicity, a fundamental shift in the very fabric of matter. But these intricate reactions, this spontaneous assembly, wouldn't have occurred without the driving force of energy and the subtle guidance of catalysts. The early Earth was a crucible of energy, with lightning illuminating the skies and the sun's rays beating down relentlessly. These energy sources provided the necessary spark, the activation energy to overcome the natural resistance of molecules to change. And then there are the catalysts, often overlooked but utterly crucial. Think of mineral surfaces, perhaps clays or sulfides, acting as tiny stages, bringing molecules together in the right orientation, speeding up reactions, and guiding the formation of these vital polymers. These weren't just random collisions. They were guided processes, a dance of atoms and energy, orchestrated by the very environment of the young planet, leading to the emergence of molecules capable of carrying out increasingly complex tasks. Think of these early organic molecules as simple Lego bricks. Through a cosmic process of assembly, they began to connect, forming longer chains and more intricate structures, the very blueprints for life. These complex organic molecules represented a monumental step, but how did they acquire the ability to replicate and to enclose themselves, creating the first primitive cells? Feel the intricate dance of atoms and molecules, the fundamental basis of all biological complexity. The leap from complex molecules to self-sustaining, replicating entities is one of the most profound transitions in cosmic history. It's like watching a quiet, sleeping seed suddenly awaken, unfurling its first, tentative tendrils towards the light. For eons, the universe had been busy weaving its intricate tapestry of atoms and molecules, but life, that spark of self-directed dancing, was still a whisper, a possibility held within the deep, ancient oceans. One of the most compelling ideas about how this awakening might have occurred centers around a molecule we know as RNA. Before the familiar double helix of DNA took center stage, carrying the grand blueprints of life, it's thought that RNA might have been the star of the show. Imagine RNA as a remarkably versatile molecule. It could not only store information, much like a primitive genetic code, but it could also act as a tool, a tiny molecular machine, of catalyst. This dual capability is what makes the RNA world hypothesis so elegant. It suggests that RNA could have been the architect and the builder, the librarian and the librarian's assistant, all rolled into one. It's a concept that feels almost like a poetic solution to the chicken and egg problem of life's origins. And these RNA molecules, these early molecular maestros, weren't just passive carriers of information. They possessed a remarkable ability. They could catalyze reactions. We call these catalytic RNA molecules ribozymes. Think of them as tiny, self-operating workshops. These ribozymes could have played a crucial role in copying themselves, stitching together new RNA strands using existing ones as templates. They could have also helped in assembling other simple molecules, essential building blocks that were floating around in the primordial soup. It's a beautiful image, isn't it? A world where the very instructions for life were also the engines of its own creation, a sort of molecular self-assembly happening spontaneously in the warm, dark embrace of early Earth. But for replication to truly take hold, for these molecules to become truly a life-like, they needed a boundary, a protective skin. This is where the emergence of protocells comes into play. Imagine simple fatty molecules, lipids, spontaneously forming tiny spheres, like microscopic bubbles in the watery environment. These lipid membranes created enclosed compartments, little private worlds within the vast ocean. Inside these nascent bubbles, molecules could concentrate, reactions could occur more efficiently, and the delicate RNA machinery could be shielded from the harsh outside world. These protocells were the first tiny cradles of life, offering a safe haven for the nascent processes of replication and metabolism to develop. And how did these early life forms sustain themselves? The answer likely lies in the harnessing of simple chemical energy. The early Earth was a place of constant chemical flux, with abundant energy gradients available. Think of it like a gentle, ever-present current in the primordial ocean. These early life forms might have tapped into these energy sources, perhaps by utilizing the chemical differences between their internal environment and the surrounding water. This primitive metabolism, this ability to capture and utilize energy, would have been crucial for fueling their replication and for maintaining the integrity of their protosal structures. It's a testament to life's ingenuity, its ability to find sustenance and purpose even in the most basic of circumstances. Imagine RNA as a self-writing and self-copying instruction manual, capable of building itself and directing the assembly of other simple components, all within a protective, self-made pouch. It's a vision of life that's both strangely alien and deeply familiar, echoing the fundamental drives we see in ourselves. These nascent life forms, simple as they were, began to interact with their environment and with each other. How did competition and cooperation shape the evolution of more complex chemical pathways? As we consider self-replication, reflect on the inherent drive towards continuation and propagation found in both chemistry and consciousness. It's a fundamental impulse of cosmic yearning to exist, to persist, to become more. The energy landscape of early Earth was transformed by a revolutionary chemical innovation, the ability to capture the very light of the sun. Imagine, if you will, a world bathed in sunlight, but for most of its nascent life that light was just light, a warm, distant glow. Then, something extraordinary began to stir within the microscopic architects of life. It was the quiet, persistent hum of evolutionary innovation, a slow unfolding of molecular marvels. Tiny organisms, perhaps akin to the humble bacteria of today, started to develop specialized molecules, pigments like chlorophyll, that could drink in the photons, the very particles of sunlight. These pigments acted like tiny antennae, tuned to the specific frequencies of solar energy. And alongside these light, harvesting molecules, an elegant system of electron transport chains began to emerge. A sophisticated cellular assembly line, designed to capture and channel that captured light energy, transforming it from a mere sensation of warmth into a usable currency for life. This wasn't just about capturing light, it was about a profound conversion. Think of it like a cosmic solar panel, but far more intricate. The energy from those captured photons was used to split water molecules, releasing electrons and protons. These electrons, energized by the sunlight, then embarked on a journey, a dance along those electron transport chains, much like tiny dancers moving across a stage, each step releasing a little packet of energy. This energy was then meticulously stored, not as light, but as chemical potential energy, primarily in the form of glucose, a simple sugar, and as a beautiful, yet initially disruptive, byproduct of this water splitting, oxygen was released. It was the planet's first great exhalation, a breath of fresh air, but one that carried with it a potent sting for much of the life that existed at the time. And what an oxygen revolution it was! For the early anaerobic life forms, those who thrived in a world without free oxygen, this new gas was a poison, a corrosive force that could break down their delicate molecular machinery. But for others it was an invitation, a challenge that spurred further innovation. As oxygen slowly, persistently, began to accumulate in the atmosphere, painting the skies with a new hue, it created a radically different environment. It was like a new, potent ingredient being added to the primordial soup, one that would fundamentally alter the course of life's grand experiment, forcing adaptation and opening up entirely new avenues for existence. With this richer, oxygenated atmosphere, and the refined ability to harness solar energy into chemical bonds, life found itself with a powerful new engine for growth and complexity. The presence of oxygen allowed for a much more efficient energy production through a process we now call aerobic respiration. Imagine the difference between a flickering candle and a steady, bright light bulb. Aerobic respiration provided that exponential leap in energy output. This abundant and efficient energy source was the fuel that powered the next great evolutionary leaps, enabling cells to become larger, to specialize, and eventually, to cooperate. It was the invisible hand that guided the transition from single-celled simplicity to the intricate, breathtaking tapestry of multicellular organisms, from the smallest amoeba to the largest whale, all ultimately powered by that first, gentle kiss of starlight. Photosynthesis is like the earth learning to breathe in sunlight and exhale life, giving oxygen. It's a fundamental chemical alchemy that fundamentally altered the planet's atmosphere and energy flow. With a rich, oxygenated atmosphere and more efficient energy sources, life could diversify. What intricate chemical mechanisms began to emerge to build the complex structures of multicellular organisms? Feel the gentle warmth of the sun on your skin, and recognize it as the ancient energy source powering life on Earth. The ability to pass on traits, to preserve the essence of life across generations, relies on an elegant and resilient chemical code. It's this silent, humming language that whispers through time, carrying the blueprints of existence from a single spark to the vast tapestry of life we see today. Think of it as a celestial recipe book, meticulously bound and passed down, each ingredient, each instruction contributing to the magnificent dish that is you. At the heart of this inheritance, we find deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. Imagine a ladder, but not just any ladder. This is a twisted ladder, a graceful double helix, spiraling endlessly upwards, like a DNA staircase to the stars. Each side of this ladder is a long chain of sugar and phosphate molecules, forming a sturdy backbone. But it's the rungs of this ladder that hold the real magic. These rungs are made of pairs of chemical bases adenine AA, thymine C, cytosine C, and guanine ZG. They always pair up in a specific way, A with T and C with G. This specific pairing is like a secret handshake, ensuring that the information is always read correctly, a perfect fit every single time. It's this precise arrangement, this beautiful symmetry, that allows DNA to store an unimaginable amount of information within its delicate structure, a molecular whisper that echoes through eons. This sequence of A's, T's, C's, and G's isn't random, it's a sophisticated language genetic code. Each group of 3 bases, like a 3-letter word, forms a codon. These codons are the instructions, the specific commands, that tell our cells how to build proteins. Imagine a vast library where each book is a gene, and within each book, the letters A, T, C, and G are arranged in specific sequences to spell out instructions for creating the building blocks of life. A single change in this sequence, a misplaced letter, can alter the entire meaning, much like a typo in a crucial sentence. This code is universal, a testament to our shared ancestry, the same fundamental language spoken by a redwood tree and a tiny bacterium. Now, how does this incredible library make more copies of itself, ensuring that this precious code is passed on? This is where the magic of replication comes in. When a cell divides, the DNA ladder unzips, its 2 strands separating like 2 lovers parting for a moment. Then, guided by those faithful AT and CG pairings, new complementary strands are built along each original strand. It's like tracing a perfect silhouette, each new strand an exact mirror image of its partner. This chemical dance, this precise unzipping and rebuilding, ensures that every new cell receives a complete and faithful copy of the genetic instruction manual, a seamless handover of ancestral wisdom. And what do these instructions build? They build the proteins. Proteins are the workhorses of our cells, the tiny molecular machines that carry out virtually every function in our bodies. They're the enzymes that digest our food, the antibodies that fight off illness, the structural components that give us our form, and even the neurotransmitters that carry thoughts and feelings across the vast neural landscape of our brains. The DNA code, those sequences of codons, is transcribed into a messenger molecule, which then travels to the cellular machinery, where it's translated into a specific protein. It's a remarkable process, transforming abstract chemical letters into tangible, functional molecules that shape our very existence. DNA is like a cosmic library, storing the history and instructions for building every living thing. Its double helix structure is a perfect design for both storing vast amounts of information and for making accurate copies. It's a testament to the elegance and efficiency that nature finds in its most fundamental building blocks. A silent symphony of chemical interactions that orchestrates life itself. This intricate chemical machinery of genetics allows for diversity and adaptation. But how does this chemical information translate into the complex behaviors and consciousness we experience? Consider the silent, constant work of your own cellular machinery, the chemical basis of your very being. Life is a continuous process of chemical transformation, a delicate balance of building up and breaking down, all orchestrated by metabolism. Think of it, really. Every single breath you take, every morsel you savor, every thought that flits across your mind, is a testament to this profound internal alchemy. It's a ceaseless, quiet dance of molecules, a symphony played out in the microscopic theaters of our cells. At its heart, metabolism is divided into 2 fundamental, yet beautifully complementary pathways. On one hand, we have anabolism. This is the building phase. Imagine tiny hands carefully assembling intricate structures, like constructing a magnificent cathedral brick by brick. Anabolism takes simple, smaller molecules and, with a gentle push of energy, weaves them into more complex ones, the proteins that form our muscles, the DNA that holds our genetic story, the very tissues that make us us. It's the process of growth, of repair, of creation. Then, there's the counterpoint of catabolism. This is the breaking down. Picture a skilled artisan carefully dismantling an old structure, not out of destruction but to reclaim valuable materials. Catabolism takes those complex molecules, those stored reserves, and gently, or sometimes with a burst of energy, breaks them apart. This process releases the energy locked within their bonds, energy that our bodies desperately need to keep the anabolism going, to power our movements, our thoughts, our very existence. It's a constant cycle, a give and take, a delicate equilibrium between construction and deconstruction, all happening in the silent hum of our being. And what is the engine that drives this entire magnificent operation? It's a tiny molecule called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. You could think of ATP as the universal energy currency of the cell. It's like the finely minted coins that every department within our cellular city needs to conduct its business. When catabolism breaks down fuel sources, like glucose, It's essentially charging up these ATP molecules, storing that released energy in their high-energy phosphate bonds. Then, whenever a cell needs to perform any task, whether it's contracting a muscle, sending a nerve impulse, or even just keeping a cell membrane intact, it spends an ATP molecule. That ATP molecule then releases its stored energy, becoming ADP, ready to be recharged by catabolic processes once more. It's a ceaseless cycle of spending and earning, of giving and receiving, ensuring that every corner of our cellular world has the power it needs to thrive. Now, how does all this happen with such incredible precision and speed? The answer lies in the unsung heroes of our internal world, enzymes. These are remarkable protein catalysts, like tiny, highly specialized tools in our chemical factory. Without enzymes, most of the biochemical reactions essential for life would happen far too slowly, if at all. Imagine trying to build that cathedral without any tools, or trying to break down materials with your bare hands. It would be an impossible task. Enzymes, however, are designed with exquisite precision. They bind to specific molecules called substrates, in a way that lowers the activation energy, the initial hurdle that a reaction needs to overcome. They guide the reactants together, orient them perfectly, and facilitate the chemical change, all without being consumed in the process themselves. They are the master orchestrators, ensuring that the right reaction happens at the right time, in the right place, with remarkable efficiency. And what's truly awe-inspiring is that these pathways aren't isolated events. They don't operate in neat, separate compartments. Instead, they are deeply interconnected, forming a vast, intricate web. Think of it like a sprawling metropolitan transit system, where different lines and routes all converge and diverge, feeding into each other, ensuring that goods and people can move seamlessly throughout the city. Your body's metabolism is much the same. The breakdown of fats might feed into the energy production pathway for carbohydrates, and the byproducts of one process can become the starting materials for another. This complex network of interconnected metabolic pathways works in concert to maintain homeostasis, that vital internal balance that keeps our cells, and therefore our entire being, functioning optimally. It's a dynamic, responsive system, constantly adjusting to our needs, our diet, and our environment. Metabolism is like a vast, intricate chemical factory within each cell, constantly processing raw materials into energy and building blocks, with enzymes acting as the skilled workers and ATP as the fuel that keeps it all running. This internal chemical dance is the foundation of all biological processes. But what happens when this chemical symphony extends beyond the individual cell, influencing entire ecosystems and even our planet's systems? As you breathe, feel the subtle chemical exchanges happening within you, a testament to the ongoing miracle of metabolism. The most profound mystery, perhaps, is how these complex chemical interactions give rise to subjective experience, to awareness, and to consciousness itself. It's like trying to understand the scent of a rose by dissecting its petals, isn't it? We can see the molecules, the water, the pigments, but the fragrance, the feeling of it, that's something else entirely. At the heart of this intricate dance are our neurotransmitters. Think of them as tiny, tireless messengers, zipping between the vast cities of our neurons. Serotonin, for instance, like a gentle dawn, can paint our world with calm and contentment. Dopamine, the spark of anticipation, the thrill of discovery, a little jolt of yes. And acetylcholine, the conductor of memory, the whisper of learning, weaving connections like silken threads. These chemical couriers carry the very essence of our thoughts, our moods, our actions, across the infinitesimal gaps, the synapses, that separate one brain cell from another. It's a constant, bustling postal service, delivering vital information that shapes our inner landscape. And this communication isn't just about chemicals, it's a beautiful interplay of electricity and chemistry. Imagine the surface of a neuron, a delicate membrane like a tiny, charged lake. When a signal arrives, it's like a ripple, an electrical impulse that travels down the neuron's axon. But to cross that gap to the next neuron, it has to transform. It triggers the release of those chemical messengers, the neurotransmitters, which then bind to receptors on the receiving neuron, creating a new electrical potential, a new ripple. It's a constant ebb and flow, a dynamic dance of ions and molecules, of electrical currents and chemical gradients. That forms the very bedrock of our brain's activity. It's a symphony of charged particles and molecular keys, unlocking the next note. Now, consider the sheer scale of this. We're talking about billions of neurons, each with potentially thousands of connections. It's like a galaxy of stars, each one a tiny processing unit, all communicating in a dazzling, complex network. And it's from this immense, interwoven tapestry of chemical interactions that something truly extraordinary emerges. It's not just the sum of its parts, it's something entirely new, a property that arises from the intricate relationships and the sheer density of these connections. This is where thought, feeling, perception, and that ineffable sense of being, consciousness itself begin to bloom, like a complex flower unfolding from a simple seed, and the subtle shifts in this delicate chemical balance can profoundly alter our experience of reality. A slight imbalance in serotonin, for example, can cast a shadow over our perception, making the world appear muted, less vibrant. Conversely, a surge of dopamine can amplify our focus, sharpen our senses, making everything feel more intensely alive. These chemicals are not just abstract concepts, they are the very architects of our moods, the painters of our emotions, the weavers of our perceptions. They are the invisible currents that shape the river of our consciousness, sometimes guiding us gently, and at other times, carrying us on a wild, unpredictable ride. Our consciousness is like a symphony played by billions of chemical instruments within the brain. Each neuron firing, each neurotransmitter released, contributes to the intricate melody of our thoughts, emotions, and awareness. While the brain is the seat of our individual consciousness, are there broader chemical or energetic frequencies that connect us, that hint at a universal consciousness? Gently focus on your breath, the chemical process that sustains your conscious awareness. Feel the subtle vibrations within. Just as atoms and molecules possess inherent vibrational frequencies, perhaps consciousness itself is a manifestation of these subtle energetic states. Think about it, really think about it. At the most fundamental level, the very fabric of what we perceive as solid, as real as is just energy. Tiny energetic packets, dancing and vibrating at specific, incredibly rapid speeds. It's like the universe is a colossal, shimmering tapestry, woven from countless threads of pure vibration. We're not just made of stardust, we're made of stardust hum. Every atom, from the iron in your blood to the oxygen you breathe, possesses its own unique, inherent frequency. It's a constant silent song, a fundamental signature that defines its very existence. This isn't just a quaint metaphor, it's the bedrock of quantum physics, the whisper that reality at its deepest core is a symphony of vibrations. And these vibrations don't just exist in isolation. Molecules, those intricate arrangements of atoms, also hum their own tunes. They vibrate, they twist, they bend, absorbing and emitting energy at characteristic frequencies. Much like a tuning fork resonates when struck, these molecular vibrations are what dictate how they interact, how they bond, how they form the complex structures that make up everything around us, including ourselves. Imagine a vast, intricate dance floor where every molecule is a dancer, moving to its own internal rhythm. The way they sway, the energy they exchange, it's all governed by these specific energetic vibrations. It's this molecular choreography that allows water to flow, plants to grow, and even the complex chemical reactions within our own bodies to occur. It's a constant energetic conversation happening at a level far beyond our everyday senses. Now, let's bring in this beautiful concept of resonance. It's a principle that's everywhere once you start looking. Think of a perfectly tuned guitar string. When another string of the exact same pitch is plucked nearby, the first string will begin to vibrate too, with surprising amplitude. It's like they recognize each other's song. Resonance is when systems, whether they're physical objects or energetic fields, vibrate with greater amplitude, with more oomph. When they're exposed to frequencies that match their own. It's a sympathetic echo, a harmonic alignment. When two tuning forks are set to the same frequency, one can cause the other to sing without even touching it. This principle of sympathetic vibration is a fundamental force in the universe, shaping how energy transfers and how systems connect. And this leads us to a truly fascinating, perhaps even breathtaking possibility. If everything vibrates, and if resonance is the key to connection, could consciousness itself be a form of vibration? Could there be a universal field, a cosmic hum with which our own consciousness or aspects of it might resonate. Imagine the universe as a vast orchestra with every atom, every molecule, every star, and perhaps every consciousness playing its unique note. Resonance is when these notes harmonize, creating a profound sense of connection and unity. It's the idea that our inner state, our thoughts, our feelings might be frequencies that can tune into or influence a larger energetic reality. It's a deeply philosophical notion, suggesting that we are not isolated sparks, but rather interconnected vibrations within a grand, cosmic symphony. If everything vibrates, and if resonance plays a role in connection, how might we consciously interact with or influence these subtle energetic frequencies for our well-being? Allow your awareness to soften, to become receptive to the subtle vibrations that permeate existence. Our experience of the world is not a direct mirroring, but a complex interpretation mediated by chemical signals and sensory receptors. Think about it for a moment. That vibrant sunset, the melody that stirs your soul, the comforting aroma of freshly baked bread, these aren't just there, waiting to be absorbed like a sponge. They are, in a way, translated. Our senses are like incredibly sophisticated chemical laboratories, constantly at work, turning the raw data of the universe into something we can understand, something we can feel. Each of our sensory organs is a marvel of biological engineering, equipped with specialized molecules, like tiny molecular keys, designed to fit specific environmental locks. In our eyes, for instance, within those photoreceptor cells, there are pigments. These aren't just passive observers, they're active participants. When a photon of light, a tiny packet of energy, strikes one of these pigment molecules, it's like a delicate touch. This touch causes a subtle change in the molecule's shape, a molecular shiver. This shiver then sets off a chain reaction, a cascade of chemical events like a tiny domino effect that ultimately leads to an electrical signal. This signal, a whisper of light translated into a language the brain understands, is then sent journeying along the optic nerve, all the way to the visual cortex, where it's woven into the breathtaking tapestry of what we call sight. And it's a similar story with smell and taste, these deeply evocative senses. The air around us is alive with volatile molecules, the odorants, invisible dancers that waft and swirl. When these molecules drift into our nasal passages, they find their way to specialized chemoreceptors on olfactory neurons. It's a precise fit, like a key finding its lock. This binding event triggers another cascade of chemical signals, which are then transmitted to the brain, painting a picture of the world through scent. Similarly, on our tongues, dissolved molecules, the tastants, bind to taste receptors, initiating chemical pathways that tell us if something is sweet, sour, salty, bitter, or umami. It's a molecular conversation, a subtle dialogue between our bodies and the chemical symphony of our surroundings. Even the way we hear and feel the world is underpinned by this intricate dance of chemistry. Sound waves, those vibrations in the air, cause tiny hairs within our inner ear to move. This mechanical motion, in turn, triggers the release of neurotransmitters, chemical messengers, that activate auditory nerve cells. And touch, that primal connection to our physical reality, relies on pressure, sensitive receptors in our skin. When these receptors are stimulated, they open ion channels, allowing charged particles to flow across cell membranes, generating electrical signals that travel to the brain, informing us of texture, temperature, and pressure. It's a beautiful, intricate process, turning physical forces into electrochemical whispers. Our senses are like finely tuned chemical instruments, each designed to detect specific vibrations or molecular signatures in the environment, translating them into the rich tapestry of our perceived reality. This chemical interpretation of the external world raises fascinating questions about the nature of reality itself. Is what we perceive the true nature of things, or simply our brain's chemical translation? So, as we continue our journey, I invite you gently to bring your awareness to the subtle sensations in your body, the chemical signals your brain is interpreting right now. Perhaps the faint scent of the air around you, the subtle warmth of your skin, the quiet hum of your own inner workings. It's a reminder of the profound, invisible chemistry that paints our world. Beyond mere perception, our internal states of joy, sadness, fear, and peace are profoundly shaped by a complex interplay of neurochemicals. It's like a hidden orchestra playing within us, each instrument a tiny molecule, conducting the symphony of our feelings. Think about serotonin, that gentle conductor, helping to smooth out the rough edges of anxiety, bringing a sense of calm and contentment. Then there's dopamine, the spark of anticipation, the reward for a good meal, a shared laugh, the very essence of what makes us feel alive and motivated. And let's not forget endorphins, our body's natural painkillers, released during exercise or even a good belly laugh, creating waves of euphoric bliss. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, weaves threads of connection and trust, making us feel safe and bonded. Conversely, cortisol, the stress hormone, can surge like a stormy sea, preparing us for a perceived threat, while adrenaline gives us that sudden jolt, that fight or flight readiness. These are the fundamental notes in the grand composition of our emotional landscape. These remarkable molecules don't just float aimlessly. They perform their intricate dances within this limbic system, the ancient, deep-seated core of our brain, often called the emotional brain. Imagine this system as a vibrant, bustling city, with neurons as its inhabitants and neurotransmitters as the messages zipping between them. When a thought, a memory, or an external stimulus arrives, it triggers a cascade of chemical signals. These signals, like tiny messengers, travel across the gaps between neurons, called synapses, binding to specific receptors, much like a key fitting into a lock. This binding process then influences the activity of the receiving neuron, either exciting it or calming it down, thereby shaping our emotional response. It's a breathtakingly rapid and complex communication network, constantly updating our internal state based on the world around us and the whispers from within. And here's where it gets truly fascinating. Our gut, that often overlooked inner garden, plays a starring role in this chemical drama. We're talking about the does-gut-brain axis, a bidirectional highway of communication. The trillions of microbes residing in our digestive tract, our gut microbiome, are not passive bystanders. They actively produce and influence the very neurochemicals that govern our mood. Certain bacteria, for instance, can synthesize serotonin, the very neurotransmitter that helps regulate our feelings of happiness and well-being. It's as if our gut is a secret alchemist, brewing potions that directly affect our mental state. When this internal ecosystem is balanced and thriving, it can contribute to a sense of inner peace and emotional resilience, like a well-tended garden blooming with vibrant life. So, if our emotions are so deeply tied to specific chemical states, can we consciously influence these states through our thoughts and intentions, or by engaging with specific energies? This is where the power of our lifestyle choices truly shines. The food we eat, for example, can either nourish or disrupt this delicate chemical balance. A diet rich in whole foods, healthy fats, and probiotics can support a flourishing gut microbiome, leading to more stable moods. Likewise, mindful practices like meditation, deep breathing, or spending time in nature can help regulate cortisol levels, reducing the impact of stress and promoting a sense of calm. Even simple acts of kindness or engaging in activities that bring us joy can trigger the release of those feel-good chemicals, like a gentle rainfall nourishing parched earth. It's a beautiful reminder that we are not merely passive recipients of our emotions, but active participants in cultivating our inner well-being. Our emotions are like chemical tides, ebbing and flowing under the influence of internal neurochemical currents. Understanding these currents allows us to navigate our inner seas with greater wisdom and peace. Take a moment to acknowledge any emotions present without judgment. Recognize them as complex chemical phenomena within you. Let us now turn our gaze inward, to the remarkable chemical composition of our own physical forms, a direct echo of the cosmos. It's a journey that brings the vastness of the universe right into the quiet chambers of our being. Think of it, this vessel you inhabit, this intricate dance of cells and systems, is woven from the very same threads that stitch together the nebulae and the farthest galaxies. We are, in essence, a microcosm, a miniature universe reflecting the grand design. It's a thought that can feel both humbling and profoundly empowering, isn't it? To realize that the elements that make up your fingertips, the very breath you draw, have a lineage that stretches back billions of years, through cosmic furnaces and stellar explosions. Consider, for a moment, the most fundamental building blocks of our physical selves. We are predominantly fashioned from the S-light elements oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. These are the universe's most common ingredients, the foundational flavors from which so much of existence is brewed. Oxygen, the very air that sustains us, is also the most abundant element in Earth's crust and in our bodies, making up a significant portion of our weight. Carbon, the backbone of all organic life, forms the intricate scaffolding of our cells, the complex chains that define our very structure. Hydrogen, the simplest and most abundant element in the universe, is a key component of water, that life-giving fluid that flows through us, and it's also present in all organic molecules. And nitrogen, vital for our DNA and proteins, plays its silent, essential role in every living thing. These four elements, so familiar, so utterly essential, are also the most prevalent in the vast cosmic ocean, a direct testament to our shared origins. But our inner cosmos isn't just about these abundant lightweights. We also rely on a delicate orchestra of essential minerals and trace elements. Think of calcium, the silent architect of our bones and teeth, giving us structure and strength, a silent guardian of our form. Phosphorus, working hand in hand with calcium, is crucial for our energy production and the very blueprint of our genetic material. Potassium and sodium, those electrolytes that hum with electrical energy, are the unseen conductors of our nerve impulses, allowing us to feel, to react, to experience the world. And then there's iron, the fiery heart of our blood, carrying life, giving oxygen to every single cell, a tiny, metallic ember within us. Zinc, iodine, magnesium, selenium, each plays a unique and irreplaceable role, like specialized instruments in a grand symphony, ensuring the harmony and function of our entire being. Without even the smallest whisper of these elements, our intricate systems would falter. When we zoom in even further, we see these elements coalescing into the fundamental organic molecules of life. Carbohydrates, our primary energy source, are elegant arrangements of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, like sweet, simple sugars that fuel our day. Lipids or fats, also composed of these elements, form the protective barriers of our cells and store energy for leaner times, like reservoirs of cosmic light. Proteins, the workhorses of our bodies, are complex chains built from amino acids, which themselves are rich in carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, with the addition of sulfur. These are the molecular builders, the repair crews, the messengers that carry out countless tasks. And finally, nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, the very carriers of our genetic legacy, are intricate structures of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus, holding the ancient code that makes us uniquely ourselves. It's a molecular ballad, a constant, silent transformation. And this brings us to the most profound realization of all, the Stardust connection. Those heavier elements within us, the iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the potassium in our cells, these were not born in the gentle cradles of the Big Bang. No, these elements were forged in the fiery hearts of stars, in stellar furnaces that burned with unimaginable intensity. When these stars reached the end of their lives, they exploded in brilliant supernovae, scattering these newly created elements across the cosmos like cosmic seeds. Over eons, these seeds coalesced, forming new stars, new planets, and eventually, us. So, when you look at your hand or feel the beat of your heart, remember that you are literally made of stardust. Our bodies are intricate, living constellations, each atom a tiny star that once burned in the heart of a distant sun. We are walking, breathing embodiments of cosmic history, a testament to the universe's ongoing creative journey. It's a beautiful, poetic truth, isn't it? That the very essence of our physical form is a narrative written in the stars, a story of cosmic evolution played out within our very cells. Knowing our fundamental elemental makeup, how does this understanding of our physical chemistry connect to our sense of self and our place in the universe? Gently place a hand on your chest, feeling the subtle rhythm of your body, a symphony of chemical processes. Among the elements that form us, one molecule stands out for its unparalleled ability to support and sustain life. It's water, of course. We've all felt its cool kiss on our skin, tasted its refreshing purity, and seen its boundless energy in crashing waves or gentle streams. But beneath this familiar presence lies a profoundly elegant chemistry, a dance of atoms that makes life as we know it possible. Think about water's structure, just two tiny hydrogen atoms clinging to a single, larger oxygen atom. It seems so simple, doesn't it? Yet this humble arrangement gives water its extraordinary polarity. Imagine a tiny magnet with a positive end and a negative end. That's water in a way. This polarity means water molecules are drawn to each other, forming hydrogen bonds. These bonds are like invisible threads, constantly weaving and unweaving, creating a dynamic, cohesive network. And because of this, water becomes the universal solvent. It's like a cosmic solvent, capable of dissolving more substances than almost any other liquid. This ability to dissolve and carry other molecules is absolutely fundamental to life. This remarkable solvent nature makes water the perfect medium for life's intricate processes. Inside our bodies, and indeed within every living cell, water is the bustling highway. It's where the magic of biochemical reactions happens. Think of enzymes, those tiny biological machines, working their wonders within this aqueous environment. Water doesn't just sit there, it actively participates, facilitating the breaking and forming of bonds that build and repair us. It's also the primary transport system, carrying vital nutrients to every corner of our being and whisking away waste products. And as if that weren't enough, water is a master of temperature regulation. Its high heat capacity means it can absorb a lot of heat without a drastic temperature change, acting like a natural thermostat for our planet and for our own bodies, buffering us against extreme fluctuations. It's the gentle, consistent hum that keeps the biological engine running smoothly. Water's interactions with other molecules are equally crucial, giving rise to the hydrophobic and hydrophilic effect. This might sound like a mouthful, but it's a beautiful concept. Hydrophilic means water-loving, and hydrophobic means water-fearing. Molecules that are hydrophilic are happy to mingle with water, dissolving easily. Think of sugars or salts. But hydrophobic molecules, like the fats that make up our cell membranes, prefer to avoid water. When you put oil and water together, you see this effect. The oil molecules huddle together, trying to minimize their contact with the water. This very tendency is what drives the formation of cell membranes, those delicate, protective barriers that enclose every living cell. It also plays a vital role in how proteins fold into their complex, functional shapes, creating the intricate machinery of life. It's a fundamental organizing principle, a push and pull that sculpts the very architecture of biology. And then there's water's grander role, its impact on Earth's climate. The vast oceans, the swirling clouds, the falling rainwater is the planet's lifeblood, shaping our weather patterns and influencing global temperatures. Its ability to store and release heat moderates our climate, making large parts of the Earth habitable. It's the engine of the water cycle, a constant, graceful movement that nourishes ecosystems, from the deepest rainforests to the driest deserts. Without this constant circulation, life would simply wither. It's a planetary-scale circulatory system, a testament to water's indispensable presence. Water is the silent, ubiquitous conductor of life's chemical orchestra. Its fluid nature and remarkable solvent properties allow the intricate melodies of biology to unfold, connecting all living things. The prevalence of water on Earth is remarkable. Could the chemical properties of other planetary environments support life, or is Earth's abundant, life-friendly water a truly rare cosmic phenomenon? Imagine the life-giving flow of water, both within your body and across the planet. Feel its essential presence. Beyond the organic, the very foundation of our planet, its rocks and minerals, are a testament to the enduring power of elemental chemistry. It's easy to forget, isn't it, when we think of life, about the sheer solidity of it all. The ground beneath our feet, the mountains that pierce the sky, the very sand between our toes, it's all built from this quiet, ancient dance of elements. Let's consider the Earth's elemental abundance, especially in its crust. We're not talking about the fleeting gases of the atmosphere, or the swirling waters of the oceans, but the deep, mineral heart. The most abundant players here are as oxygen and silicon, forming the backbone of so many familiar materials. Think of quartz, that beautiful clear crystal. Then comes aluminum, iron, calcium, sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These 8 elements, in their various combinations, make up the vast majority of what we call Earth's crust. It's like a cosmic recipe, with these ingredients forming the fundamental building blocks of our terrestrial home. Imagine them as the primary colors on a painter's palette, ready to be mixed and transformed into an infinite spectrum of geological art. And how do these elements come together? This is where the magic of mineral formation truly begins. Under immense pressure, and as heat, deep within the Earth's mantle, or during the fiery birth of volcanic eruptions, elements don't just mingle, they've organized. They arrange themselves into precise, repeating patterns, forming what we call crystalline structures. Think of it like atoms finding their perfect dance partners, locking into place to create something new, something stable, something beautiful. Each mineral is a tiny, intricate sculpture, a testament to the specific conditions under which it was born. It's a silent, slow crystallization, a process that can take eons, but the result is a structure of breathtaking order and symmetry. This constant transformation leads us to the magnificent rock cycle. It's a perpetual motion machine, a geological ballet that has been playing out for billions of years. Imagine rocks born from molten lava, igneous rocks, cooling and solidifying. Over time, these rocks are weathered and eroded, their fragments carried by wind and water to settle as sedimentary rocks, like layers of compressed history. Then, subjected to even greater pressure and heat, these rocks can be metamorphosed, their very structure and mineral composition altered into something entirely new. It's a continuous rebirth, a cycle of breaking down and building up, where every rock, every mineral, has a story of transformation to tell. It's like the planet is constantly recycling its own essence, refining and reshaping itself. Now here's a thought that truly sparks curiosity: the role of as minerals as catalysts for life. It's not just that minerals form the stage upon which life plays out. Some scientists believe they may have actively participated in its very inception. Certain minerals, with their unique surface properties and electrical charges, could have acted like tiny cosmic matchmakers, concentrating simple organic molecules, or even providing the spark for the first crucial biochemical reactions. Imagine these humble, solid substances quietly nudging the very beginnings of life into existence. They might have been the primordial soup's essential seasoning, the tiny cradles where the first whispers of organic chemistry found their voice. The Earth's crust is a vast, ancient library of elemental combinations, with minerals as the beautifully structured books detailing the planet's geological and chemical history. Each crystal holds a story of pressure, heat, and time. Feel the grounding energy of the Earth beneath you, the solid foundation built from ancient elemental chemistry. These solid, seemingly inert minerals are the bedrock of our world. But what about elements that are less common, yet possess unique properties that influence the very fabric of our technology and our understanding of the universe? We're talking about the rarer gems, the elements that, while less abundant, hold extraordinary power. The periodic table of elements is more than just a chart, it's a profound revelation of the universe's underlying order and the interconnectedness of all matter. Think of it, if you will, as a cosmic map, a beautifully intricate tapestry woven from the very fabric of existence. It's a story whispered across aeons, a language written in the stars telling us not just what things are made of, but how they came to be and how they relate to one another. For centuries, humanity gazed at the stars, at the earth beneath our feet, and wondered about the fundamental substances that made up this vast, vibrant reality. It was Dmitri Mendeleev, a Russian chemist with a mind like a well-tuned orchestra, who first truly saw the pattern. He noticed that when elements were arranged by their atomic weight, their properties seemed to repeat in a predictable rhythm, like the recurring notes in a melody. He didn't just organize what was known, he predicted what was yet to be discovered, leaving gaps in his table for elements he sensed must exist, like leaving empty spaces on a canvas for colors yet to be mixed. It was a leap of faith, a stroke of genius that revealed an inherent, almost divine, order. At the heart of this cosmic map lies the atom, the tiny, bustling universe within everything. Each element is defined by its atomic number, the count of its protons, like a unique fingerprint. But it's the electrons, those energetic dancers orbiting the nucleus, that truly dictate an element's character. They arrange themselves in shells like layers of an onion, each shell holding a specific number of these nimble particles. It's the outermost electrons, the ones on the furthest shell, that are the most eager to interact, to bond, to form the myriad compounds that paint our world with such astonishing diversity. They are the element's social butterflies, determining its willingness to connect. This dance of electrons is what organizes the periodic table into its elegant rows and columns. The rows, or periods, represent the filling of these electron shells. As you move down a period, a new shell is added, like adding a new ring to a tree trunk, signifying growth and a deeper complexity. The columns, or groups, are where the magic of similarity truly shines. Elements in the same group share the same number of valence electrons, those eager dancers on the outer shell, meaning they tend to behave in remarkably similar ways. They are like cousins, sharing familial traits, reacting to the world with a kindred spirit. But the periodic table isn't just a snapshot of current matter, it's a chronicle of cosmic history. It reflects the fiery birth of the universe itself. The lightest elements, hydrogen and helium, were forged in the intense crucible of the Big Bang. Then, as stars ignited and lived their brilliant, burning lives, they became cosmic furnaces, forging heavier elements through nuclear fusion. Supernovae, the explosive deaths of massive stars, are the ultimate alchemists, scattering these newly created elements across the cosmos, seeding the next generation of stars and planets, and ultimately us. So, in a very real sense, the periodic table tells the story of Stardust. The periodic table is like a cosmic DNA sequence, revealing the fundamental building blocks of everything we know and the relationships between them. Each element's position tells a story of its creation and its potential interactions. This organized system of elements reveals predictable patterns. But are there elements, perhaps rare or transient, that possess qualities that defy easy categorization or hint at deeper cosmic mysteries? As you consider the periodic table, feel the underlying order that connects all the diverse forms of matter in the universe. While the common elements form the bulk of our existence, rarer elements possess unique properties that unlock extraordinary possibilities. Think about the grand tapestry of the universe, woven from the very fabric of atoms. We've spent time with the familiar threads, the hydrogen and helium that fill the vast emptiness, the carbon and oxygen that build our very bodies. But what about the threads that are scarcer, the ones that whisper tales of cosmic violence and immense pressure? These are the heavy elements, those forged in the heart of stellar furnaces, and born from the most dramatic celestial events. You see, elements heavier than iron, like gold or platinum, aren't just casually tossed about in the cosmic breeze. Their creation requires an energy, of cataclysmic energy, that's truly astounding. Imagine two neutron stars, the incredibly dense remnants of exploded stars, spiraling towards each other in a cosmic waltz. When they finally collide, it's an explosion of unimaginable power, of kilonova, that seeds the universe with these precious, heavy building blocks. It's as if the universe itself had to perform an act of extreme alchemy, a violent, beautiful birth to bring these elements into existence. They're rare because their making is a testament to the universe's most intense moments. Now, let's turn our gaze to a different kind of rarity, a rarity born not of explosive birth, but of perfect balance. We're talking about the noble gases, those elegant, aloof characters of the periodic table. Think of helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. What makes them so special? It's their electron shells, those invisible orbits of energy around the atom's core. The noble gases are like perfectly sealed envelopes, their outer electron shells completely full. This makes them incredibly stable and, well, noble in their refusal to readily interact with other elements. They're the introverts of the atomic world, content in their own company. Yet, despite their reluctance to mingle, they play vital roles. Neon signs, that familiar glow that paints our cities at night, owe their vibrant hues to the way neon atoms, when excited by electricity, emit that characteristic reddish-orange light. Xenon, with its dazzling brilliance, is used in high-intensity discharge lamps, like those in advanced headlights, offering a crisp, daylight-like illumination. They're the quiet artists, adding light and color to our world with a gentle, unforced radiance. Then we have the transition metals, a group that truly embodies the spirit of versatility. Think of iron, the backbone of so much of our world, from the steel in our buildings to the hemoglobin that carries oxygen in our blood, or copper, the shimmering conduit for electricity, warming our homes and powering our devices. And of course gold, that lustrous symbol of beauty and value, so unreactive it seems to defy time itself. These metals aren't as inert as the noble gases, nor are they as explosively born as the super, heavy elements. Instead, they occupy a fascinating middle ground, exhibiting a rich diversity of chemical behaviors. Their electron configurations are a bit more complex, allowing them to form a dazzling array of compounds and to readily participate in chemical reactions. This makes them invaluable as catalysts, substances that speed up chemical reactions without being consumed themselves. They're the silent facilitators, the cosmic matchmakers, enabling the complex chemistry that underpins everything from industrial processes to biological functions. Their ability to shift between different oxidation states, like a chameleon changing its colors, is what gives them their extraordinary utility. And finally, we venture into the realm of the transuranic elements, the synthetic wonders that exist only because we, with our curious minds and powerful machines, have brought them into being. These are the elements that lie beyond uranium on the periodic table, elements like plutonium, americium, and curium, and even more fleeting, heavier creations. They are not found in significant amounts in nature, if at all. Instead, they are forged in the intense environments of nuclear reactors or particle accelerators, like tiny, fleeting sparks of creation. Their existence is often measured in fractions of a second, their atoms decaying almost as soon as they are formed. Yet, even in their ephemeral nature, they push the boundaries of our understanding of matter and energy. They are the Azer's extreme experiments of the universe, or rather of our human ingenuity, revealing the fundamental rules of atomic stability and the very limits of what matter can be. Rare elements are like hidden jewels in the cosmic treasure chest, each with unique facets and colors that reveal special properties. They are the universe's exquisite details, often requiring immense cosmic forces to bring them into being. These elements, whether naturally rare or artificially created, demonstrate the vast spectrum of chemical possibility. How do these unique properties influence our understanding of scientific frontiers, and perhaps even the nature of energy itself? Allow your curiosity to wander towards the edges of the periodic table, contemplating the unknown and the extraordinary. Light, the very force that illuminates our universe, is intrinsically linked to the chemical behavior of matter, a dance of energy and electrons. Think of an atom, a tiny, bustling city of particles. At its heart, the nucleus, and orbiting this nucleus, like planets around a sun, are electrons. These electrons don't just float aimlessly, they reside in specific energy levels, like rungs on a ladder. When an atom receives a jolt of energy, perhaps from heat or another atom, one of its electrons can get excited, leaping to a higher rung on that ladder. But this excited state is unstable, like a ball perched precariously on a hilltop. To return to its more comfortable, grounded state, the electron must release that extra energy. And how does it do this? By emitting a tiny packet of light, a photon. Conversely, when an atom absorbs a photon of just the right energy, an electron can jump up to that higher energy level, absorbing the light's essence. It's this exquisite back and forth, this absorption and emission of photons by electrons, that forms the fundamental language of light interacting with matter. Now, this isn't just a random light show. Each element, from the simplest hydrogen to the most complex, has a unique arrangement of electrons, and therefore, a unique set of available energy levels. When we pass light through a gas of a particular element, or when we heat that element until it glows, it emits or absorbs light only at very specific wavelengths or colors. These patterns, these unique spectral lines, are like a chemical fingerprint, an indelible signature that tells us exactly what that element is made of. Imagine looking at the light from a distant star, a celestial whisper across unimaginable distances. By analyzing the spectrum of that light, we can decipher the very elements that make up that star, its temperature, even its motion. It's as if the universe is broadcasting its elemental secrets through the language of light, a cosmic library cataloged by these distinct spectral signatures. And this dance of light extends far beyond the vibrant colors we see with our eyes. The electromagnetic spectrum is a vast continuum, a rainbow stretching far beyond red and violet. We have radio waves, carrying music and information through the air, their wavelengths long and gentle. Then there are microwaves, infrared radiation that we feel as warmth, visible light, ultraviolet rays that can give us a tan, X-rays that peer through solid objects, and finally, gamma rays, the most energetic of all. Each of these forms of radiation interacts with matter in different ways, depending on their energy and wavelength. Radio waves might gently nudge electrons in antennas, while high-energy gamma rays can rip electrons right out of atoms, causing profound chemical changes. Understanding this entire spectrum is like understanding the full vocabulary of light, from its most subtle murmurs to its most powerful pronouncements. At the heart of so many chemical reactions, whether it's the combustion of fuel or the intricate workings of photosynthesis, lies the fundamental concept of energy levels and transitions. When chemical bonds are formed or broken, it often involves electrons moving between these energy levels. If a reaction releases energy, it might do so by emitting photons, perhaps as heat or even visible light, like the warmth from a fire or the glow of a chemical reaction. Conversely, some reactions require an input of energy to occur, and this energy can be supplied by absorbing light or other forms of electromagnetic radiation. It's this fundamental exchange of energy, orchestrated by the movement of electrons, that drives the vast majority of chemical transformations in our world, from the simplest rust on iron to the complex synthesis of life itself. Light is the universe's universal messenger, carrying information about the chemical makeup of distant stars and the energetic state of atoms. It's the visible whisper of the subatomic dance. If light is so intimately connected to atomic and molecular energy, could there be specific frequencies of light or energy that resonate with or influence our own biological and conscious states? Imagine yourself bathed in pure light, feeling its energetic essence, and how it connects to the fundamental chemistry of your being. The stable structures that form planets, molecules, and life itself are held together by the invisible forces of chemical bonds. Think of them as the universe's quiet agreements, the silent promises that keep everything from drifting apart into a formless void. Without them, there'd be no stars, no oceans, not even the air we breathe. Let's start with ionic bonds. Imagine two atoms, one feeling a little too crowded with its electrons, and another feeling a bit empty, yearning for just one more. It's like a generous neighbor lending a cup of sugar, or perhaps more accurately, gifting a whole bag. One atom, the donor, lets go of an electron, becoming a positively charged ion, a little bit lighter, a little bit more eager. The atom that receives this electron, the acceptor, now has a full outer shell, a sense of completeness, and a negative charge. These oppositely charged ions, like tiny magnets with opposite poles, are drawn to each other with a surprising strength. They form crystal lattices, like the shimmering grains of salt on your tongue, a beautiful, ordered structure born from this simple exchange. It's a dance of give and take, creating something solid and enduring. Then we have covalent bonds. This is less about gifting and more about sharing, like two friends deciding to pool their resources for a common goal. Here, atoms don't transfer electrons, they share them, creating a mutual embrace around their nuclei. This sharing allows each atom to feel like it has a full outer shell, achieving a state of stability. These are the backbone of so much of what we know. Think of the very essence of life, the complex molecules of our bodies, the sugars that fuel us, the proteins that build us. They are all intricately woven together by covalent bonds. It's a partnership, a shared journey of electrons that creates incredibly diverse and intricate molecular architectures. It's the universe saying, let's build something together. And then there are the hydrogen bonds. These are perhaps the most delicate, yet profoundly important, of the bunch. They're not as strong as ionic or covalent bonds, but their sheer abundance and specific arrangement make them absolutely vital. Imagine a hydrogen atom, already a bit shy and clinging to a more electronegative atom, like oxygen or nitrogen. This hydrogen, now with a slight positive charge, finds itself attracted to a negatively charged part of a neighboring molecule. It's a gentle tug, a whisper of attraction across a tiny space. These are the bonds that give water its miraculous properties, its ability to flow, to dissolve so many things, to form those beautiful dewdrop jewels on a spiderweb. They are also the invisible ladders that hold the very blueprint of life, DNA, in its elegant double helix, allowing it to twist and untwist for replication. It's the universe's subtle connections, the quiet hum of interaction. The strength and specificity of these bonds are what truly shape the world around us. A diamond, forged from carbon atoms locked in strong covalent bonds, is incredibly hard and brilliant. Water, with its weaker hydrogen bonds, is fluid and adaptable. The way atoms link up, the angles they form, the energy required to break or create these connections, it all dictates whether something will be a gas at room temperature, a solid crystal, or a liquid that flows. It's like a cosmic recipe, where the choice of ingredients and how you bind them together determines the final flavor, texture, and form of the dish. Each bond is a precise instruction, a unique signature that defines the very nature of a substance. Chemical bonds are the invisible threads that weave the fabric of reality. They are the universe's way of holding things together, of creating order and stable structures from individual atomic components. They are the silent architects of everything we perceive. These bonds create stable structures, but chemical reactions involve the breaking and forming of these bonds. What dictates the direction and energy of these transformations? And how does this relate to the flow of energy in the universe? It's a question that leads us deeper into the dance of matter and energy. Feel the interconnectedness of all things, the subtle forces that bind atoms and molecules, and by extension connect us to the universe. The universe is in constant motion, a dynamic interplay of chemical reactions that transform matter and transfer energy. It's like watching a silent symphony, where invisible forces rearrange the very building blocks of existence. Think about it, from the gentle unfurling of a leaf to the fiery heart of a distant star. Chemistry is the engine of change. We're talking about reactions that either give off a warm embrace of energy, like a comforting hearth fire, we call these exothermic, or those that draw energy in, like a parched desert thirsting for rain, needing that spark to begin, those are endothermic. It's a constant give and take, a cosmic ebb and flow, shaping everything we perceive. Imagine a tiny seed, waiting for the right conditions, for that burst of warmth and light to kickstart its journey into a towering tree. That's the magic of energy being either released or patiently waiting to be welcomed in. Now, even the most eager reaction needs a little nudge, a gentle push to get going. This is what we call activation energy. It's like needing to strike a match to light a candle, or giving a gentle push to a rolling stone to set it down a hill. It's that initial surge, that spark of effort that unlocks the potential for transformation. Without it, even the most powerful reactions would remain dormant, like a sleeping giant. This energy barrier is crucial. It's the gatekeeper that determines when and how change can occur. It's the whispered invitation that allows the dance of molecules to truly begin. It's fascinating to consider that even in the most energetic processes, there's a moment of gentle initiation required. And as these reactions unfold, they're guided by some deep, fundamental laws, the laws of thermodynamics. The first law tells us energy can't be created or destroyed, only transformed, like a sculptor reshaping clay. But the second law speaks of entropy, a beautiful, inevitable tendency towards disorder. Think of a perfectly tidy room. Over time, without constant effort, it naturally drifts towards a more scattered, less organized state. It's not a judgment, just a natural unfolding. In isolated systems, this drift towards increasing randomness is a constant hum beneath the surface of reality. It's the universe's gentle sigh, a movement towards equilibrium, towards a state of less distinct order. This grand dance of energy and matter plays out spectacularly in ecosystems. It all begins with the sun, a magnificent fusion furnace, pouring down life-giving energy. Plants, those silent, green alchemists, capture this solar light, transforming it through photosynthesis, a truly wondrous chemical reaction. They become producers, the foundation of the food web. Then come the consumers, who ingest these plants, breaking down those stored chemical bonds to fuel their own lives, releasing energy in the process. And finally the decomposers, those unsung heroes, breaking down dead matter, returning those precious elements and residual energy back into the cycle. It's a continuous, interconnected flow, a testament to the intricate web of chemical transformations that sustain all life. Chemical reactions are like energetic exchanges, a cosmic dance where energy is either released or absorbed as bonds are rearranged. It's the fundamental process that drives change and evolution throughout the universe. This constant flow of energy and transformation seems to follow fundamental laws. But are there ways to harmonize with these energetic flows, to foster balance and well-being within ourselves and our environment? As you observe the world, notice the constant flow of energy, the subtle chemical transformations happening all around you. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the gentle scent of blooming flowers, the very breath you take, all are part of this grand, energetic symphony. Beyond the scientific mechanisms, the story of ancient chemistry offers profound philosophical insights into our place in the cosmos. Think about it, really feel it. Every atom that makes up your hand, the very breath you're drawing in right now, the stardust that settled on your eyelids as you slept, it's all been on an unimaginable journey. From the fiery heart of dying stars, forged in cosmic furnaces, to the swirling nebulae where new worlds are born. We are, quite literally, children of the stars. This isn't just a poetic notion, it's the bedrock of our being. Every element, from the hydrogen in your water to the iron in your blood, traces its lineage back to the same primordial origins. It's a constant, silent reminder that the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the universe are, in a very real sense, illusory. We are woven from the same cosmic thread, a magnificent tapestry of matter and energy that stretches across the vast expanse of existence. This deep, intrinsic connection suggests a fundamental unity, a shared ancestry that binds us to everything, from the smallest grain of sand to the most distant galaxy. And then there's this fascinating idea, the anthropic principle. It's like the universe has been perfectly calibrated just for us, for life, and especially for conscious life. The fundamental constants, the very laws that govern reality, gravity, electromagnetism, the nuclear forces, they seem to be set with an almost impossible precision. If they were even slightly different, stars might not form, atoms might not hold together, and life, as we understand it, simply wouldn't be possible. It's as if the universe whispered, "Let there be consciousness," and then meticulously arranged all the necessary ingredients. It raises a profound question: is this fine-tuning a cosmic accident, a statistical anomaly, or does it point to something more intentional? It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That the very fabric of reality seems to be predisposed to the emergence of awareness, of beings like us who can ponder these very questions. This leads us to a timeless philosophical dance: materialism versus dualism. Is consciousness simply an emergent property of complex chemical reactions happening within our brains, like the intricate patterns that bloom from a handful of carefully mixed pigments? Or is there something more? A non-physical aspect, a spirit, a soul, that interacts with this material form? Ancient alchemy, with its pursuit of transformation and its hints of spiritual awakening, often flirted with this very dichotomy. It recognized that while the physical transformation of elements was a goal, there was an equally important, perhaps even more significant, inner alchemy at play. The debate continues, a gentle hum beneath the surface of our understanding, inviting us to consider the nature of our own awareness, the essence of what it means to be, and from this deep understanding of our chemical origins, we can gain a truly cosmic perspective. Imagine yourself, a tiny spark of awareness, floating in the immeasurable ocean of space and time. Your existence, though fleeting in the grand scheme, is a direct continuation of processes that began billions of years ago. This realization can foster a profound sense of humility, melting away the ego's insistence on separation. It also cultivates a deep, abiding awe. To know that the elements that form your bones were once part of a supernova, that the carbon in your cells was forged in the heart of a star, it's a breathtaking testament to the interconnectedness of all things. It's a reminder that we are not isolated entities, but integral parts of a vast, unfolding cosmic story. Our existence is like a single, beautiful note played within a grand cosmic symphony. We are composed of the same elemental notes as the stars, demonstrating a deep, intrinsic unity with the entire universe. This profound unity suggests a deeper interconnectedness. How might our understanding of ancient chemistry and energetic frequencies inform our approach to personal well-being and our relationship with the world around us? Allow yourself to feel the deep sense of belonging that comes from recognizing your fundamental connection to the universe's chemical tapestry. If all is vibration and resonance, then perhaps we can consciously engage with these energies to cultivate inner harmony and well-being. It's a profound thought, isn't it? Like discovering we're not just passengers on this cosmic current, but that we can, in subtle ways, steer our experience. consider the power of intention. Imagine it as a gentle, focused beam of light, originating from the very core of your being. When we set an intention, we're not just wishing, we're directing our own energetic signature, nudging the universe, and perhaps even our own intricate biochemical dance, towards a desired state. It's like whispering a secret to your cells, a quiet suggestion that can ripple through your system, influencing everything from your mood to the very chemistry that underpins your physical sensations. Think of it as a gardener tending to their plants, focusing their energy and attention to encourage growth and bloom. And this dance with intention finds its deepest partner in mindfulness and present moment awareness. When we're truly here, truly now, we're not lost in the swirling eddies of past regrets or future anxieties. Instead, we become acutely aware of the subtle frequencies within us. It's like turning down the volume on the external noise, so we can finally hear the quiet melody of our own inner landscape. This presence allows us to bypass the stress, response cascade, that frantic chemical chatter that can leave us feeling frayed. By simply anchoring ourselves in the breath, in the sensation of our feet on the earth, we can begin to attune into our own unique energetic signature, finding a quiet center amidst the storm. Then there's the enchanting realm of sound and music. We've all felt it, haven't we? How a certain melody can lift our spirits, or how a deep, resonant tone can ground us. Science is beginning to whisper about how specific sonic frequencies can actually influence our brainwaves, shifting us from the frantic beta waves of stress to the calmer alpha, or even the deeply restorative theta states. It's like the universe offering us a sonic key, a way to unlock different states of consciousness and well-being, transforming our mood and even our physiological responses with its gentle caress. And of course, we cannot speak of natural frequencies without mentioning the profound embrace of connection to nature. Stepping into a forest, feeling the ancient earth beneath our feet, breathing in the crisp, clean air, it's an immersion in a symphony of natural chemical and energetic signatures. The rustling leaves, the gentle murmur of a stream, the vibrant green of moss, these are all expressions of a deep, inherent harmony. By simply being present in these environments, we allow our own energetic fields to resonate with these restorative frequencies, promoting a sense of balance and deep, cellular restoration. It's like coming home to a place where our very essence is recognized and replenished. Harmonizing with cosmic frequencies is like tuning a delicate instrument to the Earth's natural rhythms. By aligning our internal vibrations with beneficial external ones, we can create a more resonant and peaceful state of being. It's a gentle art, a constant invitation to listen, to adjust, to find that sweet spot where our inner song blends beautifully with the grand, universal melody. As our journey through ancient chemistry draws to a close, what final thoughts can we hold on to? What gentle invitations can we extend to ourselves as we transition towards rest? Gently bring your awareness to the gentle hum of your own being, a unique frequency within the universal symphony. We have journeyed from the primordial spark of the Big Bang, through the fiery hearts of stars, to the molecular dance of early life, and the intricate chemistry of consciousness. We've traced the elemental whispers that forged our bodies and the energetic frequencies that may connect us all. From stardust to sentience, the story of ancient chemistry is the story of existence itself, a continuous unfolding of cosmic potential, a grand tapestry woven with threads of light and matter. To understand our chemical origins is to grasp a profound unity. We are not separate from the universe, but an integral part of its ongoing creation. The same elements that ignite stars and form galaxies reside within us, a constant reminder of our deep cosmic heritage. Think of it like this: the iron in your blood once pulsed in the core of a distant sun, and the calcium in your bones was forged in the supernova explosion of a star long gone. This perspective can foster a sense of awe, humility, and a gentle reverence for all life. The universe whispers its secrets through chemistry, inviting us to listen, to understand, and to feel our profound connection to the grand, unfolding mystery. It's a beautiful, silent conversation. As you drift into a deeper state of peace, I invite you to share your thoughts and reflections from this journey in the comments below. What resonated most deeply with you? What cosmic whispers have you heard tonight, perhaps carried on the soft breeze of your own breath? Your insights enrich our shared exploration, like little constellations of understanding appearing in the night sky of our community. Now, allow the gentle resonance of this journey to carry you into a state of deep, restorative sleep. Let the cosmic whispers lull you into a peaceful slumber, where your mind can continue to process and integrate these vibrations, like echoes in a vast, quiet canyon. Rest deeply, knowing you are a part of this magnificent, ancient, and ever-evolving universe. Sleep well, dear traveler, and may your dreams be filled with stardust.